Welcome to AFL Women's.
Hello and welcome to By the Boundary. We are coming to you live from the Adelaide Crows women's training here at West Lakes. Of course, tonight is the women's final training session before the 2019 AFLW season. It kicks off this Saturday, the 2nd of February. Adelaide set to face the reigning premiers, the Western Bulldogs, at Norwood Oval in what is set to be an absolute blockbuster. It's been a huge pre-season for the Crows, who have welcomed some fresh faces to the group ahead of the club's third season in the competition. And as we talk of fresh faces to the group, well, you're one of them, Doc Clark.
Not so fresh anymore, Alana. But yes, certainly for the coaching, yes.
Now, you've, of course, announced your lineup for Saturday today. We're going to take a look at it now. 7 Crows debutants. Talk us through it.
Yeah, so obviously a lot of turnover in every AFLW list. We've got 10 new players into our squad, and 7 of them are going to debut for us as for the football club, which is really exciting, obviously. We've got a real mixture. We've got Maisie Nankiville, who's come from netball. We've got Ailish, who's come from all the way from Ireland. And then we've got a couple more experienced players in Renee Forth and Sophie Lee, who played AFLW last season. Jess Foley, who was a great basketballer for many years, is coming in, playing her first game. I'm losing track of them, there's that many.
Look, it's very exciting to have so much fresh blood, isn't it? And of course, 5 first-timers amongst the group.
Yeah.
What was it like delivering the news to them that they would, in fact, be making their AFLW debuts?
Yeah, no, very exciting. We just had the meeting then, actually, and it's obviously a great joy to let someone know they're going to play their first game. And unfortunately, there was the same meeting we were telling the players that weren't going to be in the team, so it was that was a kind of a mixed emotion. But certainly there's some exciting talent there. We haven't mentioned Chloe Shear, who played up in Darwin last week and kicked a couple of goals, and you know, she showed just the class that she's got. So she's going to be a big addition for us, and we're looking forward to what they can do.
As you touched on, unfortunately, some players do need to miss out. Can you talk us through some of those decisions?
Yeah, really tough. In many cases, it's about their physical preparation. So it's a really short season and therefore a short pre-season. So if you have an interruption of any sort, it can really set you back. So Caitlin Rosenwig is one of our other young draftees. She didn't get to do much training pre-Christmas, so she wasn't selected. And Sarah Perkins is probably in the same boat. Trained really well up until Christmas, but then after Christmas had a setback. And really only started back full training this week. She played the game in Darwin off no training at all, which is not ideal. But so there's a couple that have missed out, and I guess beyond that, Rianne Lug has also missed out, which is tough for her. Nikki Gore played a really good game in Darwin, another of our draftees, but just got edged out with some experience coming back into the back line.
All right, and 2 other faces that won't be there, of course, Ree Metcalf and Jasmine Hewitt through injury, but it's made way for Jess Foley. Why do you see her as the best choice in the ruck? Yeah,
well, we probably were hoping to play Jess in a couple of other spots, but clearly an ACL to Ree, which was devastating, and then Jazz's ankle injury, which is not as bad, but is going to keep her out for probably a couple of weeks further into the season. So yeah, we just had to go to the cupboard and see what was there, and Jess obviously has got great natural leap because she's of her basketball background. She's probably a little bit undersized, but what she does do is read the play really well around the ground, so we think that she'll give us something extra in that area.
And I'm sure she's got a very good mentor in herself.
It's been a busy 2 weeks. We've been trying to get up to speed.
Now, it's a tough ask first up. Reigning premiers in the Western Bulldogs. What do you see as the keys to getting a first up win on Saturday?
Yeah, so obviously they're a really well structured, well organised side. They won the grand final last year. They use the ball really well. Their skill level is high. They're the highest uncontested possession team in the comp. So our defence will have to be at the level. Katie Brennan didn't play in that premiership, but she comes back into their squad, and she's obviously a really focal target for them up front. So we've got some plans in place, but ultimately a lot of the focus will be on how we're going to go about it. We respect the Bulldogs, and we think they're obviously going to be a really tough opponent, but we just want to make sure we play the best footy we can.
All right, we've also got time for one viewer question. It comes from Sarah, and she wants to know who has impressed you the most this pre-season.
Well, I think in terms of upskilling, you can't really go past Ailish, who has never played the game at all, and is now going to debut in round 1. So that's an amazing transition. And but probably in terms of the new players in, Jess Foley's game was pretty impressive for similarly her first performance in Darwin, and she really commanded the air. So hopefully she can transition that into AFLW Season 3.
Indeed. Well, great to catch up, Doc. Thanks very much for your time. Get back to training and all the very best on Saturday.
Absolutely. Thanks, Alana.
No worries. And we're going to take a short break on By the Boundary, but we've got plenty more coming up, so do stay with us.
Welcome to AFL Women's.
Welcome back to By the Boundary. We are coming to you live from West Lakes as the Adelaide Crows women's team make their final preparations ahead of their season opener on Saturday night at Norwood Oval. Unfortunately, one fan favourite who won't be there is Rhiannon Metcalf, of course, suffering that ACL injury in the trial in Darwin. How's your recovery going?
Yeah, it's not going too bad. Obviously, I haven't quite started yet. I'm not at the starting point. I have surgery next week, so that'll be, when day one starts and I can go through the rehab process. But at the moment, just focusing on getting the knee ready for surgery so I can come out of surgery as best as I possibly can.
Talk us through the incident itself. Did you know what you'd done as soon as it happened?
Yeah, look, I don't think I'll ever forget that moment. It is the first serious injury that I've had in sports over 27 years, and that's the first one, so that's a pretty good run. But yeah, I think I remember looking down and my knee was about 45 degrees out, and I was hoping that it was probably a dislocated knee. I was hoping, but as soon as I went down, all the signs were there. It was an ACL. So yeah, that was definitely a defining moment.
Such disappointing timing for you after you put in the pre-season, and they are short seasons. How are you dealing with that mentally?
Oh, it's fine. You're playing sport when you take the field. Unfortunately, that's the risk of playing sport. Whether it's training or on the game. Injury is always a risk. But yeah, I've had so much support, whether it's from the girls, the club, family and friends, and all the girls within the AFLW, players from other clubs. The support's been absolutely overwhelming.
Well, it's fantastic to be hearing you so positive, and you have said that you'll be the best cheerleader the Crows have ever had. What sort of role will you take on the sidelines?
Well, at the moment, I think we're looking at a bit of a mentoring role and coaching role for the girls that are going to be playing the ruck. So, I mean, obviously we have Doc, who's the SME in rucking, so he's shown us a lot of really good techniques since we started training this year. But I guess one thing I have is I've physically gone up against the opponents in the first 2 seasons, so it's one thing to watch as much video and footage as you can, but it's another thing to actually go up against the girls, and so I'll try and give as much advice as I can to the girls that are filling that role.
Of course, Jess Foley announced today that she will be taking that role on Saturday night, so she lent on you particularly for some advice?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, it's maybe a bit daunting for her, it's such a quick change and unexpected, I guess. But she's such a versatile player, and with a basketball background and everything, she's the kind of player that can play anywhere on the field. So, not even worried about her filling that role. She's going to, absolutely kill it.
Well, you've been here since the start, since its inception. What's been different this pre-season under Doc Clark?
Well, obviously, it's a new coach, so we've got a whole new structure and everything. He's introduced some new concepts to us, which obviously we got to trial out in Darwin a couple of weekends ago, and it all went pretty smoothly, and it was the first time we really got to put it into full effect. So really happy with how that went, and we ended up getting the win as well, which is always nice. So yeah, just really excited to see his new structure and all these concepts come into place, and hopefully play out well for us.
Yeah, there are certainly very high hopes for the side. We do have a viewer question for you. It comes from Caitlin. She wants to know, from a player's perspective, are the standards of skills improving year on year?
Oh, absolutely. We have the premiership photo back in our change room, and you can see, we're looking at it today and kind of laughing about it because we all look, chubbier in the face and everything. And each year when you come back into the pre-season, you're 150% more prepped than what you were the previous year, and the skills are getting better, fitness levels are getting higher. So yeah,
so just more professional all round, I guess.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, well, thanks very much for your time, Ree. So sorry about the injury, but great to hear you being so positive around the group. So all the best for the season.
Awesome, thank you very much.
Thanks. And we're going to take another short break, but do stay with us because Crows co-captain Erin Phillips will be joining us next.
Hi, Hi everyone and welcome to the Crows Show, brought to you by Foodland.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Footy Plus.
Welcome back. You are watching By the Boundary. We're coming to you live from West Lakes as the Adelaide Crows women's team prepare for their season opener at Norwood Oval on Saturday night against reigning premiers, the Western Bulldogs. And one player that cannot wait to get out there, I'm sure, is co-captain Erin Phillips. Erin, great to have you here with us. How's everyone feeling? Final training session. It's all upon us.
Yeah, really good. Thanks for getting me out of a few drills. Look, the girls are out and about and just can't wait for that first bounce Saturday night. It's been a long pre-season and they've worked really hard, so now the fun kind of begins. What have you found to be some of the main differences this pre-season under Doc? Yeah, obviously he's bringing so much experience from being in the AFL, AFL elite system, and so yeah, he's bringing that to here. You could see just his game knowledge, and the girls just are like sponges. They can't get enough of him. The amount that we've learned is just unbelievable. But and just his passion for the game in general. He just loves his footy, and you can tell how much he enjoys being out here with us. So it's been a great transition to have him here, and hopefully we can get some few wins for him. No doubt his intellect as well. I was talking to Noffy the other day. She just kept saying, he's so smart, so smart. And quirky. And tells bad jokes. Okay. No. Yeah, dad jokes. Yeah, right. Dad jokes. Now, during the off-season, you spent some time in the US at the Michael Johnson Performance Centre. Can you tell us what you got up to there and what was all about? Yeah, so obviously living in McKinney, Texas, which is just north of Dallas, looked up the Michael Johnson Performance Centre just to start. I wanted to go back to basics actually and just try to, have a look at my technique of running and things that can help me just kind of rectify me, stop doing quad injuries every year. So they work obviously with a lot of, all professional athletes, elite athletes, from NFL players, baseball players. They have national teams from all over the world come in, and so, just to have another, I guess, perspective of what I could do differently. I mean, I've been playing professionally for a long time, the sport, and I didn't, just wanted some new ideas, and so basically, went there and taught me how to properly run again, and things that I thought I'd already should know by now, but it was great just to be able to work in that kind of environment. I guess you feel better than ever then. Yeah, it's like little things, and like I said, I've been in playing sport for a long time, and it's it's another, I guess, motivation and something that's different and exciting, and haven't done before. So again, like I'm really much more well prepared than I was last season. Okay, well of course it all gets underway on Saturday night, and you're going to have 7 new teammates there with you. Yeah. Which player excites you most? Look, that's a tough one. They bring so many different strengths to our team, and look, I think Ailish is probably one, just has a really unique story coming from Gaelic footy, families all the way in Ireland. So I'm excited, especially for her. She's going to have so many fans, across the other side of the world watching as well. So, but like, I'm excited for everybody. I mean, tough selection, and to have 7 newbies in the squad, just it's a credit to how strong this squad really is and how tough of a job it is for the coaches to pick. Yeah, it sure is. Now, you personally, of course, we've seen you up forward and in the midfield. Where do you think we'll see you play most of your footy this season? Probably the same. My dad was the backman. Okay. My dad was the backman, and I'm definitely not a backman, so I like kicking goals. So. Okay. All right, now we've also got a viewer question for you. It comes from Sam. She wants to know who is the funniest player in the team or the biggest jokester? Funniest player? I probably have to say, probably Nuffy is obviously very funny. Renee Forth. Okay. You'll get to know Forthy quite well. She's kind of just weird funny. But I always get a kick out of her, so she'd have to be on my top.
All right, we'll have to explore that a bit more.
Yeah, get into it.
Great catching up. All the very best on Saturday and for the season ahead.
Thanks. Saturday night.
Yeah, absolutely. And we want to see you there on Saturday night as well. Get down to Norwood Oval. The 2nd of February, it is the Crows' first match of the AFLW season. It's going to be an absolute blockbuster against the reigning premiers. The gates will open at 5:15 p.m. and aside from the footy, there's plenty of entertainment for the whole family. And of course, best of all, it is free. Entry is free, so it sets up as a terrific occasion you do not want to miss out. My name is Alana Smith. It's been terrific having your company. We'll see you soon.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the Crows Show, brought to you by Foodland.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Footy Plus.